Hello, as you can see by the title, this video will be about Leeseo's attitude, or more specifically about the fake narrative people started spreading about her attitude. This is a very sad situation that has been dragging on for a while now. Just to remind you all in case you forgot or didn't know, Leeseo was born on February 21, 2007, making her 15 years old. So yeah, she's still a minor. And I find this situation very hypocritical because people always preach about protecting minors but then they proceed to cyberbully them and spread false accusations against them. Leeseo is not the only minor who has received hate from K-pop stans. There have sadly been other idols who have received this treatment, but since I'm a dive, I'm only gonna talk about the Leeseo situation as I'm the most familiar with it. Anyway, like I was saying, K-pop stans always speak about how minors shouldn't debut in such a cruel industry. But then they themselves contribute to this industry being cruel. Pretty hypocritical if you ask me. Minors debuting is a very controversial topic, and I know there's not much we can do about it, but what's sure is that we can at least try to take care of these idols and make sure they can be as safe as possible. But that's not always the case, and Leeseo is an example, so let's see what exactly has been happening. This happened right after IVE won Song of the Year with Love Dive at Mama 2022. All of the members were visibly shocked and most of them cried while giving their speech, Leeseo included, but apparently she was being too cringe for some people, so of course they started saying how she was fake crying, not to mention they mocked the way she called out the fandom name. They mocked how she said dive. Too bad that's literally how you say it in Korean. So I really think this is actually offensive because you're literally making fun of a language and its pronunciation. But anyway, these haters seem to be so out of touch with reality, because if they tried to put themselves in Leeseo's shoes for even just a second, I'm sure they would think twice before hating her. Think about it. Let's say you're 15 and you just won one of the biggest awards you can ever win in your whole career. You just won Song of the Year and you're receiving the award and giving a speech in front of thousands of people. How would you feel? People are so quick to mock her, but I bet you'll never know how it feels to be in such a nerve-wracking situation. But try to think about it. Think of all the times you maybe felt anxious when you were giving a presentation in front of your classmates and professors. It can be a nerve-wracking moment for some people. Now imagine being 15, being emotional for winning such an important trophy and having to speak in front of so many people. It's not so crazy seeing why Leeseo might have reacted the way she did. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. If your grown-ass faves do it then you're like, oh my god how cute, but God forbid it's a teenager who does it. Something tells me you're just jealous because she was the one getting that Song of the Year award instead of your faves. Your faves will probably never know how it feels to win Saudi, and that's why you are so pressed. This happened during a prank organized by IVE's managers. The girls were presented with different situations to see how they would react, and Leeseo's situation was about a staff member dropping the cake in front of her. Leeseo was kinda paralyzed. She was probably pretty scared because of one of the actors who was pretending to be a strict manager. That woman was seen scolding the staff members previously and Leeseo was probably really intimidated by her. So instead of taking the blame for the dropped cake and instead of staying and helping the staff member, she tried to get out of that situation as soon as she could and she left. Now, you may say that if she really was a good person she would have helped, but I think it's so stupid judging how good someone is by just a simple clip. After the prank she admitted of being so scared, which can kinda explain why she acted the way she did. If you know Leeseo you would probably know that when she's very scared, she tends to distance herself from the situation that is making her feel scared. And this is a sort of defense mechanism. One example was when IVE went in the haunted house. Leeseo was clearly terrified throughout the whole thing, but there were some moments when she started talking about random things instead of carrying out the mission. She got distracted by other things and she seemed to completely try to distance herself from the unpleasant situation she was in. It is somehow a naive way of reacting. Instead of facing a scary reality she seemed to try and think about something else, distancing herself, which is exactly what happened during the cake prank. But of course if you don't know Leeseo you wouldn't know that this is literally the way she tends to act when she's scared. Then you have every right to think she should have helped the staff. But it's funny how you're calling her mean for not helping when you're literally cyberbullying her. This doesn't make you any better than her. Trust me, Also sometimes certain idols get exposed for something immature that they did when they were young, and everybody always says things like, well, you can't judge them for what they did at 15, we all do stupid things, and I wish the same reasoning was applied to this situation. Leeseo is young and we can all make wrong choices. Also, it's not like she killed someone, so stop being so dramatic. You already know about this situation and how Leeseo and Wonyoung lip-synced to Strawberry Moon. Anyway, I will not be talking too much about this because I already made a whole video about IVE singing live. Leeseo is one of the most stable members during live singing, and if you don't believe me, then please go and watch the video I made. I'll link it in the description. But moving on, it's not fair judging Leeseo and Wonyoung for that lip-syncing situation, which was most likely decided by the company, not by them. The girls really don't need to prove they sing live any further. They are one of the 4th-gen groups who has sung live the most. And if you keep on denying it, I can't help but thinking you're ignoring this on purpose just to keep on fueling your false narratives. In conclusion, I wished people really stopped and thought about what they were doing. Leeseo isn't even 16 yet, and you're out there hating on her like crazy, especially on TikTok. Leeseo is literally one of the most precious idols out there. She's the girl who is always there to comfort her members despite her being the youngest. She's always so loving and attentive with them, and it really rubs me the wrong way when people try to paint her as a mean girl, because this is far from the truth. Also, stop preaching about protecting minors if then you go and hate on her, or even if you turn a blind eye when you see people bullying her. Some of you only care about getting a hit tweet talking about protecting minors, but then you don't give a damn when minors are actually being hated on. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Hopefully I was able to change your mind in case you were one of the people who had a negative opinion on Leeseo. Bye everyone. See you in the next video.